The icy wind bit at Mark Dawson's face as he trudged across the frozen lake, his breath visible in the bitter night air. He wasn't supposed to be out there. A single dad and janitor, Mark's life had settled into a rhythm of quiet monotony. Work at the high school, come home to his small cabin, cook dinner for his 10-year-old daughter, Lily, and try to keep the shadows of his past at bay. But that night, fate had other plans. A deafening crash shattered the silence. Mark froze, heart hammering. Smoke and fire danced on the far edge of the frozen lake. A jet, some Navy training aircraft, had gone down, its nose piercing the ice, and trapped inside, struggling to survive, was an officer calling for help. Without a second thought, Mark shed his coat, plunged into the icy water, and fought against the freezing current. Every stroke burned his muscles, every second felt like a lifetime, but he reached the officer, gripping his life vest with trembling hands. Pulling him from the water, Mark dragged the man to shore, shivering violently as they waited for the sirens in the distance. The rescue made the local news, though Mark never lingered to watch himself on TV. He returned to his small cabin, expecting nothing more than a quiet night. But by morning, the quiet was broken by the roar of engines. 5 Humvees rumbled up the snowy driveway, the kind of military precision he thought he had left behind years ago. Men in uniform stepped out, sharp and silent, but it wasn't the ceremony or commendation he had imagined. It was the past he'd tried to bury. Mark's life hadn't always been this quiet. He had served long ago in a unit that had seen too much, done too much, and left him with a wound no metal could ever heal. After leaving the Navy, he had walked away from everything, friends, missions, and even his own potential, to protect Lily from the shadows that still haunted him. Every day was about keeping the past at bay. Now the past had come to his doorstep. The officer he saved, Lieutenant Commander Ethan Hayes, wasn't just grateful. He was insistent. "Mark, you've saved my life, but there's more at stake here. Your old unit. We need your help." Mark froze. The old unit was something he had promised himself he would never touch again. But Ethan's eyes, filled with a mix of desperation and trust, reminded Mark of the man he once was, the man who never hesitated to step forward, who risked everything for others. Lily, sensing the tension, tugged at his sleeve. "Daddy, are they bad guys?" she asked, her voice small but steady. In that moment, Mark saw both the weight of his responsibility and the courage he had to reclaim. He shook his head. "No, baby. But sometimes helping people means facing fears you thought you buried." The days that followed were a whirlwind. Mark worked with Ethan and the team, navigating intelligence reports, covert operations, and the looming threat of a mission that could go terribly wrong. He faced physical challenges, pushing his body through days and nights of exhaustion, but the greater struggle was internal, confronting the guilt, the regret, and the sense of unworthiness that had shadowed his life since leaving the Navy. One night, as he sat staring at the frozen lake again, Mark finally allowed himself to speak aloud to the quiet. "I've been running," he said, the words breaking free like ice cracking beneath his feet. "I've been running from the man I used to be, and from the man I need to be for her." Lily's hand found his, and the simple touch grounded him in a clarity he hadn't felt in years. The mission came to a climax when the team had to intercept a dangerous operation threatening national security. Mark, though no longer in active service, used his instincts, his knowledge, and his courage to guide them. Every move was calculated, every risk personal. And when the dust settled, it wasn't just the success of the mission that resonated. It was the quiet heroism he had rediscovered in himself. Returning home, Mark finally felt the weight lift from his shoulders. The Humvees were gone, the uniforms melted back into the distance, and the lake returned to its icy stillness. But the change inside him remained. He had faced the past, embraced his courage, and in doing so, showed Lily what it truly meant to be brave, not through accolades or recognition, but through action, love, and the willingness to protect others, even at great personal cost. That night, as he tucked Lily into bed, she whispered, "I'm proud of you, Daddy." Mark kissed her forehead and whispered back, "So am I, kiddo, so am I." And outside, the stars shimmered over the quiet cabin by the frozen lake, a testament to the resilience of the human spirit, the redemption that can arise from courage, and the quiet heroism that changes lives in ways no one else sees.